Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, good. Hi, Linda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine too. Congrats on the
Good.
new president.
Oh, thank you. Couldn't have come at a better time.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm fine. Still not sick, so that's good.
Good. Me
Yeah.
too, so far.
Okay, yeah, let's keep the fingers crossed then.
Exactly. Exactly. Want to stay healthy.
Yes, that's important.
Always.
Mm, I got my dog with me again, but
Oh,
you
hi,
see,
buddy.
hello. Just chilling here.
Good, good. Yep. I see you got your dog, you got your spliff, so you're all set.
Yep, I am.
I don't have my dog or my spliff. I'm in Ireland right now.
Oh, for you.
No, that's okay. I'm happy to be here.
So what you doing in Ireland then?
My mom lives here,
Okay.
so mainly just came to see her. Um, she's got some medical procedures going on, so I just want to be here to support her and
Oh, that's
on
good.
behalf of the family, just have somebody with her, you know.
Yeah, I can understand. I
Yeah,
will,
she has a lot.
yeah, I will light a candle for her. So, did you bring your questions or do I have to open them here?
Nope, it's your turn.
Okay, wait. Oh shit, I cannot minimize Zoom. Okay. Um,
We can just have a chat.
oh, that's good. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I am
so
opening my questions now, so it should be, yeah, it
okay.
should be okay. So yeah, well, for the people who don't know you, let's introduce yourself.
Cool. My name is John Connor, and I'm one of the founders of Dog Eat Dog. So I've been with us for 30 plus years, and I sing for the band.
And what type of music do you make?
Dog Eat Dog music. It's a blend of different styles. We're not ones to make categories for ourselves. I think that's up to fans and journalists and other people to decide. We just make music that makes us happy.
I think it's a nice crossover mix. So yeah,
I'll take that.
yeah. um, well, could you describe like the history of the band a little bit? How did you
Sure.
come to be Doggy Dog and why the name?
Yeah, I can't say for 30 years history in this short amount of time, but I can say
Sure.
that the band started. Dave and Dave Niebuhr and Sean Kilkenny were playing with Mucky Pup
Mhm.
in the late 80s, early 90s, and they decided for a couple of different reasons that they wanted to start their own band. You know, they wanted more of a voice
Mhm.
and a little bit more control over what they were doing. So they
Sure.
decided they wanted to start a band, and they asked me. We were friends, and they knew that I had sung already a little bit, so they were just like, "Hey, we're going to start this band, and we want you to sing." And I said to those guys, I would love to, but one of the things that was important to me was that we weren't going to have just one genre of music. You know, at that time I was into punk and hardcore, but also rap and metal and reggae and pop, and I mean, you know, everything. So I said to the guys, "Hey, if we do this, I want to do this in a way that we don't put boundaries on ourselves." And they were into it. They agreed. So that's how we started. We just were some friends that wanted to get together, make music, have fun, bring people together, and make a party. And I'm proud to say that 30 years later, we're still living by that same rules or boundaries or ideals. Is
Mm,
that we want to have fun, we want to bring people together and make it a party.
that's very important, yes. And how do the songs come to be? Is it really yeah, like a synergy of all the bands, or?
Yeah, yeah. Over 30 years, we've had different um, songs are written in different ways. You know, sometimes Dave may have an idea, like the song Rocky. Dave wrote the music, he wrote the words, and the day that he presented the song to the band, I happened to be somewhere else. I was doing a meeting that day or something, and he sung it, and the guys in the band really liked it. And when he showed it to me, he said, "Hey, you can sing on this if you want to." And I said, "No, man, it's like it's your song. It's you wrote it, and it's kind of about you, so it makes more sense if you sing it." So songs are written in all different ways. Our song "Walk with Me," for instance, I
Mhm.
wrote pretty much all the words and the chorus to Justin Timberlake's "Cry Me a River." I really like the instrumental. It came from Timberland, and I wrote all the words, and then I presented the song to the band, but without the Justin Timberlake music. I didn't want them to be distracted or
Yeah.
uh, think negative about it when they heard the track. I just wanted them to come up with their own thing. So that's what we did. And yeah, songs write themselves in different ways. You know, sometimes you spend weeks or months or even years obsessing over little details in a song. And then sometimes it just comes together and you don't even know where it came from.
Yeah, it happens magically. I'm
Sure.
never gonna listen to JT the same way
Yeah.
now. So, is there a song that means much to you?
Well, I feel that always the new songs, the songs that we're writing, the songs that I'm trying to trying to shape and turn into something, those are always my favorite songs. You know, of course I love Who's the King and No Fronts and Isms and all these songs that we've been playing for 30 years. But again, I've been playing these songs for some of them for 30 years. So you know, I'm most excited and most attached to the new songs that we're making. We've been working on a new album for a couple of years now, and coronavirus has extended the time frame,
Mhm.
but it's always the new songs that I'm most excited about.
Oh, that's nice. So, there are some songs you're working on now. Did you try work through the internet, or doesn't it work for you?
Yeah, we haven't really done that so much. We were recording in Switzerland, and obviously, we can't go to Switzerland right now.
No.
The whole world is almost on lockdown. So what we have been doing is just using the internet and using tools like Zoom and Facebook and Instagram more to stay in touch with our fans and let them know, hey, we haven't forgot you, and don't you forget about us. And
We're
it's a
still
nice way
alive.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice way to stay connected. Um, as far as recording goes, I was able to drive to New Jersey, and Dave and I could go into a studio in New Jersey, and our producer and studio in Switzerland sent the tracks over to New Jersey. We
Oh,
recorded there, and then we send him back to Switzerland and have him do his mixing and all that. So, the internet's a great tool, and we're, everybody knows we're a little bit older. We're not in our 20s or something anymore.
yeah.
So it takes a little bit getting used to. It takes a little bit of trial and error to get to use these tools properly. But
Yeah.
I think we're getting there.
Well, I can imagine that, and I'm 20 something, and still it doesn't work like I want to. So,
Absolutely. It's funny, when we do Zoom meetings with my mom or friends of mine talk about their parents and how they can't work these devices and they're having trouble and things like that. We just
Yeah.
laugh about it. We have a good time and make sure that you know, fun is the center of everything that we do.
Yeah, that's true. That's very important, I think.
Yeah,
So,
especially times like this when it's very serious and people are sick and people are nervous and they don't know where money's coming from and stuff. It's important to stay positive and have fun.
yes. So, well, obviously you played in the Netherlands before. What can you remember about the shows here?
Well, I have great memories of traveling and playing in the Netherlands, from going all the way back into the late 80s when I traveled with Mucky Pup as a roadie. And some of our best shows were in Holland and Belgium. The people there just know how to make it a party. They know how to make it fun. I think the Dutch are a very sophisticated audience. They know how to listen, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they can stand back and listen and really absorb what you're giving them. But they're also a fun culture. So people want to drink a couple of beers or have a joint and enjoy the music, and they allow themselves to be taken away to go on a journey with you. And one of the things that I remember from the Mucky Pup days is people used to bring balloons and inflatable balls and throw it around. I mean, it was just something special, something a little different than we would see in America or in Germany. And yeah, all the way from the 80s through our time in the 90s, playing great festivals like Pink Pop and Lowlands and
Mm-hmm.
Dynamo, but also playing the clubs around Holland, in Rotterdam, or playing the Great Paradiso Club in Amsterdam, or the Milkweg, or going up to Groningen, Nighttown, as I mentioned, in Rotterdam. So we've been coming to Holland for a long time, even longer than Dog Eat Dog has existed. And it's a great place not only to play, but also to spend some days off. Amsterdam is one of the most incredible cities in the world, I think,
Yeah.
and we have a great feeling with the people of Holland.
You played also near us in Heerlen. I was there. And we met also before on
Of
the Year
course,
Up Festival where you sang a birthday song for my boyfriend. So
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
always the same fun guys, I have to say. Because I can
Well, thank
imagine
you.
sometimes touring is hard, so but you never
Yeah,
notice it.
touring is hard, but the best part of touring is playing shows and interacting with friends and fam.
Hmm.
So, when we meet people, we can choose to be in the backstage or the bus or
Hmm.
in catering or something. But you'll often find Dave and myself out in the crowd or at the merchandise booth. We always know we can meet our fans there. So yeah, things like that. If somebody comes and they want a birthday greeting or an autograph, or they just want to say hi, or they want to talk about Dynamo Festival or something like that, um, this is a great joy. The harder part of touring is traveling, sitting
Hmm.
in a sprinter van for 12 or 10 hours a day, or going from the airport to a gig, to a hotel, to another gig. Those are the hard parts, or sitting around and doing nothing for hours
Hmm.
at a time. You have to you have to enjoy the time that you're there. It's not you don't have to do this. Dog Eat
Yes.
Dog isn't even our full-time job. We do other things and we do the band when we can, but at the same time, uh, we want to enjoy it. We want to make sure that we get the most out of it, and the best way to do that is by getting together with the people and making friends.
Yeah, that's important. So yeah, about your other jobs, I heard you're a great fan of ice hockey. You can see on your shirt too. So could you tell the people what is your regular day job?
Yeah, well, right now I have no day job.
Mm-hmm.
My company and my ice rink isn't opening this year because of coronavirus. So I have to be patient and I have to be grateful. But what I've been doing for the last 20 years is I operate an open air ice rink in Washington, D.C. in the
Hmm.
wintertime, right down by the Capitol and the White House and all that in the heart of the city. And I love it. I love being outside. I love driving the Zamboni. The resurfacing machine is one of my favorite things in the world to do. So I've been really lucky that I have or had a great company to work for that allows me to not only go away and do shows, but enables me to do fun things like drive a Zamboni and get paid for it. So,
It's the small things in life that matter, right?
you know, when I was a kid or a teenager, if you would have told me that I would be 50 and I would be playing shows with my band around the world and driving a Zamboni and playing and coaching ice hockey, I would have said, that's cool. I can't wait to be 50. So, and
So
trust me, when I
what?
was a teenager, I thought 30 years old was an old age. So,
Yeah, I'm turning 30 in January, but my mindset is I'm dirty. Finally, I'm dirty, and dirty sex don't want to be my whole life. So
very cool. Yeah, some of my best years were in my 30s, I think. So it's a great time in your life because you're not a kid anymore. You hopefully have some experience and you know what you like in life and you know what you don't like. Um,
yes,
and then you can enjoy things a little bit more. It's hard for young people. There's so much insecurity and anxiety, and
mm,
as you get a little bit older, you don't sweat things like that anymore. You don't give a fuck what people think about you,
no,
and that's a free place to be. It's a nice place to be.
I stopped giving a fuck about what people thought about me long, like way before, like when I was 18 and started in porn, and that was the moment I just stopped giving a fuck.
Oh, okay.
So that was
Well,
pretty early in life, but it was freeing, I have to say. So
I bet, yeah.
yeah,
And I think that that's cool that you're able to explore your own sexuality and make your own choices as an adult. That's what you got to do.
yeah, that's true. So do you have any special songs if you and the lady get together for your sexy time?
Well, we got together more than 20 years ago, and
Sweet.
when we first started dating, we were listening to a couple of different albums. Massive Attack, Mezzanine
Oh, that's
is
nice. Yeah,
is one of my favorite
I
albums,
love
even
it.
still to this day. Um, what else? We had I was just thinking and I forgot there was D'Angelo. Um, his
Yeah,
his album Voodoo is a real kind of it's a sexy album. Let's you know.
that's true.
Um, so I think that's those are a couple of our old favorites. The artist Miguel has an album called Kaleidoscope Dreams, and a lot of the songs are sexy, and I really think that's a cool record too for getting busy and love making.
Because that's important, folks, especially in these times.
Well, it's also funny. You make me think of a story from a long time ago,
Oh,
but
you were talking about you remembered an album you used to listen
oh,
with your wifey.
don't worry about it. I'm gonna leave that story alone.
Too
My
bad.
the, the point I was gonna make is basically any kind of music can be the right music for getting down. You can
Yeah,
put
that's
on
true.
Slayer Raining Blood. And if you're both into it, it'll work.
I believe I got down on Doggy Dog before, so It was actually one of the first albums my boyfriend gave me when we got together 13 years ago. And it was one
Awesome.
of the first albums he showed me. So you have really have to listen this shit. You're gonna like it.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's very nice. So, what people might have noticed is that you have a .nl website. What's the story about that?
Right. Yeah. God, many years ago now, I can't even really think back. It probably was around 2000, in the early 2000s. Um, a student from the Netherlands, a gentleman by the name of Martijn Kupri,
Mhm.
approached us and said, "Hey, I'm a dog eat dog fan, and I'd like to make a fan website for your band." And at the time, we had dogeatdog.com, but we didn't really have much content on it or anything. None of us were good at the internet,
Mhm.
especially 20 years ago or 17 years ago, whatever. And we said, "Yeah, go ahead." And what he did was created not only the typical pictures and tour dates and stuff, but he also created a community. And that was the first message board I think I had ever been on in my life. But it was so cool to see fans from all over the world, not only Holland and Belgium and Germany, but from Asia and America. And there wasn't that many people, maybe 20 or 50 or something. But some of those people are still in contact and still friends with the band to this day. Some of them made friends with each other
Mhm.
because Dog Eat Dog was the thing that they had in common. So for us, it was always really cool to have this website. We eventually kind of had it as our only website for a long time. And even though Martijn is well out of school right now and
Mhm.
he's working full time, he still updates it and he still comes out to shows. I think with social media, with the Facebook and Instagram and all that, you don't necessarily your website is not as important anymore
Mhm.
unless
That's
you
true.
have your merch set up, your online sales, unless you're selling records or something directly from your web page, it's not really that important. People are going more to your social media sites rather than your web page. But it was really cool to have that, and even more so than having a cool website for our fans, we got to be friends with Martijn over the years, and we've been friends for 20 years now or something. So that's a really nice thing that came out of it. And we have now all these beautiful archives of all our shows. Almost all our shows that we've done over even almost 30 years
Mhm.
are listed on the page. There's photos and videos from some of these shows. So it's a nice place to have our history uh, stored, and it's something we're really proud of.
It's a nice place to rewind, I think.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
still don't have my own website, so yeah, I can imagine like the the word of Instagram or Twitter, Facebook. It's way more important now. But before you had
I
like
agree.
MySpace and things like that. It's too bad that got away because it was very good for like finding new music.
Yeah. Well, that's true. It was a different time. When MySpace first launched, it was, the streaming platforms hadn't really taken off.
Mhm.
Bands were still selling physical copies of the CD. Of course, there was Napster and BitTorrent, and there was places to go if you wanted to download music, but you really had to download it. It wasn't like you could just stream it.
Mhm.
So that was an exciting time for bands and music. I think nowadays it's a lot harder to connect, even though it's a lot easier as a fan of music to find things and
Mhm.
consume it and listen to it. I think it's much more difficult to hold people's attention,
Mhm.
to find a record that you listen to over and over and over again. Back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, you would, you got an album, a cassette, or a CD, and you put that on, you looked at every single little thing that you could get. You really had to do your research if you
Hmm.
got into something, you know? And sometimes a band would put out a record, and maybe on the first listen or two, you didn't enjoy it as much, or you didn't understand it as much. Maybe the band
Hmm.
had changed a little bit. And because you spent 15 or 20 bucks on a CD, you know, you didn't give up on a
Yeah.
record after one listen. You know, you made yourself like that CD. Um, and you know, I miss those days a little bit. I think there's so much out there right now that it waters everything down a little bit. It's hard to stand out in the
Hmm.
world of music. And yeah, there's no going back. There's no changing it. But there's a pretty big difference from the way people listen to music in the 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s to the way it is now. I mean, you know, I've got thousands of albums here in my phone
Yeah.
because of Spotify. I remember going on tour, I used to carry around a box of cassettes with me. I used to bring, you know, a magazine with like 50 CDs, you know, because that was
Yeah.
how we listen to music.
I still have that. I drive a Ford car, and there's only a CD player in it. So I have my Doggy Dog CD in the car, but I have like
Nice.
this whole map with, yeah. But there's still something magic about like putting a CD in the player and listening it like front to back, and maybe hear the story between the songs.
Yep.
Maybe it's like chronological and it's like story of someone's life or something like
Sure.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
There were
magical.
an album like Life of Agony, River Runs Red. You know, they had little interludes and things like that in between songs, and you wouldn't get that nowadays. You know, if you listen to the record, you're just gonna get the 3 minutes of music or 3.5 minutes of music, and that's it.
Mhm.
So I think that even the way people write songs and the way that they put albums together has changed a little bit. You have to be more conscious of the way people digest the music.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, still Spotify is also a magical thing, I think.
Absolutely. There's so much music that I've rediscovered and brand new music that I discover. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts in the last 6 or 7 months,
Yeah,
walking the dog or doing some gardening. And when I listen to podcasts, I always hear artists talking about a record or a band that I don't
mhm.
know or something. And it's great to be able to go right on Spotify and be like, oh, the Tones, I never heard of them. Look it up and it's right there.
Yeah,
I don't have to go to a record store and take a chance on a CD or an album and be like, I don't know, am I gonna like this? Am I not gonna like it?
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
There was more of an investment.
I can remember like I think 10 years ago, I burned my Head Automatica CD, and I really cried about it because I thought it was lost forever. But now I can just go online and listen it when I want. No scratches on the CDs.
Yeah. No, it's I think people now get everything delivered so quickly, from your music to your Amazon or whatever, you know, whatever you want is really, everything is like less than 24 hours away, you
Yeah,
know. So
true.
we're not patient anymore. We want to get what we want very quickly, and then we use it, and then we move on to something else.
Yeah,
So it's an interesting time, but the beauty of it is so much access to great music, and you don't have to carry around a bag full of vinyl or CDs or
yeah.
cassettes.
Or cry about demolishing them.
Right. Or you loan your tape to a friend, and next
It's
thing you know,
gone.
he's like, I lost it, you know. Oh man, that was only one of a kind.
Yeah. But still, I think if you're really a fan of music, like when I go to listen to a band like Deftones, I always like try to buy something when they're on tour. And last time I think I bought a t-shirt and a pullover because I want to support the bands, because I understand that the music is now more of a merchandise product than your product itself. But yeah, you still have to buy your yeah, like pay everybody, and like touring is not cheap.
No, it's not, and that's great. We have a lot of fans that support us, and they understand that as well. We're very lucky. We don't play to huge rooms, but we do have very loyal fans that come out. They buy shirts or they buy our hats or whatever we have to offer. They support us, and
Yes.
it means a lot. And I think most people understand that if you can get the album for free, then it's nice if you can buy a ticket or you can buy a shirt if you can afford it or something to support the bands.
Yes, that's true. Um, Now my questions are done. Wait. Oh yeah, right. Where does the name Doggy Dog come from?
Well, when we were looking for our name, we had a decision in the band that we wanted to be democratic. So everybody has a vote, everybody has a voice,
Hmm.
and we try to make it an equal thing. And we had a few different names before we came up with Dog Eat Dog, but it wasn't a unanimous vote. We weren't all like, yeah, this is it, this works.
It wasn't
And
no.
somebody came up with the name Dog Eat Dog, and we heard it, and everybody voted yes, and there we are. Dog Eat Dog is basically just a phrase in English saying, "Hey, this is man versus man. When push comes to shove, it's going to be dog eat dog." So
It's a Doggy Dog world, right?
yeah, it didn't really mean so much for us. It's not like a statement. It just seemed to fit. The boys were in the band Mucky Pup first, so it was kind of funny that Dog Eat Dog ended up being our name after they were in Mucky Pup.
Yeah.
It just worked somehow. When the feeling is this works, this feels right. That's kind of how it was with Dog Eat Dog, and I'm happy we chose this name.
Yeah, me too. It fits you.
Thank you.
And also the love for dogs is unanimous. So
Yeah, it's funny when I got into the band, I didn't have a dog. It was only in the early 2000s when I got my first dog. But I always liked dogs. We just never had them growing up. And once I had one, it was a feeling that I need one in my life forever now.
yes, I can imagine. I didn't grow up with dogs either. We did have rabbits and horses, but no dogs. But
Oh
now
wow.
I've got my little doggy, and I'm totally in
Yeah.
love. She's my little baby.
Yeah, they're so special, and they all dogs just have a wonderful energy about them. They just love you, and they're happy to see you, and they want to please you.
Hmm.
So they're great company, and I couldn't live without them.
No, me neither. I always, it's too bad I couldn't find my shirt, but I always wear your dog on my shirt.
I like your dress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
um, Wait, I'm gonna see. All right. Um, if you have one advice to give to your 10-year-old you, what would you say?
Um, I think I would just say follow your heart, follow your instincts. Um, don't second guess. Just keep pushing forward and be who you are and what you feel.
Mm,
As I mentioned earlier, if I would have known uh, 40 years from now that I would be doing what I'm doing, I would just say, hey, keep going. Life is going to throw you some ups and downs, but you're going to have a lot of fun,
mm.
and you're going to do some unexpected things, and just enjoy it. Enjoy every minute of it. And I think one of the things that I would say is to go easy on your folks, on your parents, because when I was a kid, I was I don't know. It wasn't that I was mean to them, but I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. You know, I was
Yeah.
young and stubborn. I hated school. And of course, my parents just wanted the best for me, but I sometimes fought them and I was a little asshole. And these are things that I accept now. But if I could have told my 10-year-old self, I would have say, hey, for the next 5 or 6 or 10 years, be cool, be good to your folks. They're wonderful people, and take care of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up too, because you can be together with your mom now, right? I'm not gonna take more of your time.
It's
Well,
no
good.
problem at all.
I wish you very, very much luck, and I wish her a lot of health. I'm gonna light a candle for her. I want to thank you
Thank you
very
so
much
much.
for this interview and redoing this with me.
Absolutely, Linda. It's my pleasure. It's good to see you,
Good
and
to see you
hopefully we can
too.
see you next summer. Okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. Bye.
Doei.
Sit down, get down, you want